Welcome back to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain Bergman. My co host, Pearl Cox, is still unable to be with us, as many of you know. And so, again, I get the pleasure of having a guest co host. And today I am as thrilled as ever to have this guest co host and the amazing panelists that she has brought to the show today. We're going to have a great time, folks. So please join us, stick with us for the whole hour. You won't regret it. It'll be great. So my co-host today is Deb Honor. Deb, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Regina.
It's delightful to have you here. Deb, as you know, I like to let you tell all about you. So I am really going to turn this over to you right now and ask you to share a bit about your journey. How did you get where you are right now? And who do you serve and why?
Great question. Thanks for turning it over. So I am Deb Honor, and I started my journey actually in music. I went to music school. I taught music for about 8 years, and I still keep my voice going through singing national anthems for sporting events as well as I sing in a Catholic church on the side. But from there, it's funny, my father was so mad when I went to music school because he said that of the four children, of the three children, sorry, I have four children, of the three of us, he said that I had the business mind and he was so angry that I didn't go into sales. So funny enough, I found sales backhandedly through a Tupperware party. I went to a Tupperware party. I came out a two-star director. In 3 years, I earned 6 free trips. I built a team of 65. It was an amazing journey. Got me into the sales world. And from there, I went into fundraising for fun and came out a fundraising coach, which kind of had sales into that part of my journey as well. And it was just really fun getting to build teams, and fundraising was so great. And then from there, we went to the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce, and I managed all of the membership. And from there, I had a couple little journeys to Insperity and human interest. And now I'm at BANKW Staffing. So I'm the Director of Strategic Accounts. It's been a fun journey to get here. I absolutely love this role. My role here is helping people all day long, whether I am helping a company find their right fit for their team, or whether I'm helping people find their next journey or their next career. So
Wow.
Helping people.
Wow. I love it. Yet collaboration has had nothing to do with your journey, right?
It's been the whole journey.
Your whole journey. We're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and in the mix, by the way, I do run 2 networking events, one in Massachusetts and one in Rhode Island.
Wow. Yeah, I can't wait for this conversation. This is going to be phenomenal. Deb, thank you for being here and for taking on this role as co-host. Would you please introduce our panelists and have them share about their journey and who they serve and why?
Absolutely. So I'm going to start with Aaron, because Aaron is the first person on my panel today that I met. So Aaron, I actually trying to figure out how we met. Was it through the chamber or was it through the networking event? So I'm going to let you tell about you.
So I believe it wasn't either. It was LinkedIn, amazingly, that we connected through. I had done Leadership Rhode Island the year before you did, and I kept seeing this woman, Deb Honor's posts, and she knew all these people, and I finally just reached out on LinkedIn and said, hey, let's grab coffee because we should know each other, clearly. And it's all been great since then. So thank you so much for having me. Would you like me to get into telling my story?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So my story is definitely a circuitous one. I love collaboration and networking. I joke often that it's the only skill I have, so I have to just ride it as far as I can. I grew up in the restaurant industry. My father owned a chain of restaurants back in the 80s and 90s. And then I bartended and managed restaurants after college. Met my wife, realized I didn't want to be running restaurants anymore and being out till 3 a.m, every night. Loved the industry, but wanted to make a change. Got into commercial real estate brokerage strictly through networking. I had no experience. I got my license, and just through my network was able to get a position with a large commercial real estate brokerage firm. Did that for about 6 years. And then again, through my network, I was recruited to come work in the construction industry as a business development director, which I didn't even know what that was when I was first recruited to do it. Essentially, that's sales in the construction industry, which I'm still doing now. You know, I don't say that I serve clients necessarily. I just like to serve people. I have a big network of people, and I like to just, like, my goal is always just to help the people in my network succeed. Because if I'm helping people be successful, I find that it comes back to help me in many, many ways. And it's happened over and over again in my career. Like Deb, I also host a networking event. Mine is for architecture, engineering, and construction professionals in Providence monthly. I do that through ACE Mentor Rhode Island, where I'm on the board for that group. That group mentors high school students on construction, architecture, engineering careers, which I think is really important because I had no idea that there were careers in construction outside of swinging a hammer, which I'm not skilled at. And, you know, I just love giving back and collaborating with people. I've gotten myself on a few too many boards now. I'm involved with maybe, I think, 6 nonprofits. But I just love the work. I love being a part of the community and collaborating and networking. So that's my story in a nutshell.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing. Next on our panel, I'm going to go in order of how I met my panel. Ryan Benedetto. Ryan and I were great referral partners when I worked in human interest. He's become a dear friend of mine, just like Aaron, and would love to introduce Ryan.
Thank you, Deb. And, you know, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this, you know, this event here. You know, I appreciate it. A little bit about myself. So I grew up in Massachusetts and I went to college in Massachusetts, went to college for business. Always knew that I wanted to have something to do with business. I wasn't quite sure. I didn't think that I would end up working for a Massachusetts payroll company, but the company I work for likes to help people, and I like to help people. So I went to college for business, and after college, I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car for quite a while, and that's quite the grind. You know, they expect a lot from their employees, and it's a lot. And I ended up, pivoting, and I worked, similar to Aaron. I ended up working for my father, who has been a self-made salesman his entire life. He's a manufacturer's rep, and I went in to work for the family business for quite some time. And I really thought to myself, you know, I don't know if I want to run a business. You know, maybe I could go somewhere where the platform is set up for me, and I don't have to, you know, make all of the decisions. And through networking and through sales, I was introduced to ConnectPay, which is a payroll provider here in Massachusetts that caters to small business exclusively, and they really like to help people. And I love to help people. And just like everybody else on this board, you know, I heard Aaron talking, I heard Deb talking, and I think that we're all cut from the same cloth in the sense that we like to help people, we like to network, and, you know, we have to have a good Rolodex of people that can help others. So, you know, I can tell you more about ConnectPay and what we do, but I don't think that that's the point right now. But I have networking to thank for getting me here. And I've been here over 4 years. And Deb and I have been collaborating for a couple of years now. She's a great networker. And I've met everybody on this call. I'm not sure if I've met Aaron in person, but we all seem to be cut from the same cloth and like to help one another. So I'm happy to be here.
Thanks so much, Ryan. And Ryan and I were at a networking event out in Worcester where I was introduced to Dariana Barrera. So Dariana, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, thank you, Regina and Deb, for having me this afternoon. So like Deb said, I am Dariana, and like all of you, I just enjoy helping people, really giving back. And I have been in my industry, insurance risk management, for almost 15 years now. And what I found was that drew me to stay in that industry was helping people. The amount of misinformation, the amount of just things that people don't know about insurance. And it truly is one of those things that we all need, but you don't know what you don't know. So one of my passions really is educating people really getting them informed and making sure, like all of us small business owners, that in the unfortunate event that we do need our insurance, that the blow is just a little bit less for our business because we're better protected. So with that, I network quite a bit with both Ryan and Deb and Nichole. And Erin, I'm sure I will add myself to your networking events soon enough because I feel like that's what this group does. We just kind of cling on to each other and expand our networks in a very positive way. So I am just excited to continue to help people, whether it's through insurance or whether it's through giving back to the community. I also, like Erin, I am part of more board of directors than I'll probably admit and networking groups. And I have yet to say no to do you want to be part of a board? So it really is just giving back, between the charity drives, the nonprofits, and networking. It really is a community here. So I absolutely love just giving back professionally and personally.
Love that. Thanks so much, Dariana. And Dariana and I attended a networking event in Concord, which we were so lucky to meet the famous Nichole. So Nichole, I'd like you to share some things about yourself.
Thank you. So I am a Maine girl with Revere roots. My mother was born and raised in Revere, so I spent most of my childhood down there. But I went to school in Waltham at Bentley and never really went home, to my father's dismay. But I love helping people, connecting people, and it's funny because people call me a connector, and I'm like, I don't think I'm a connector. But I had a long, extensive career in marketing and started my business through my cliff diving phase, where I was like, you know what, I think I can do this on my own, because I really left the agency I had been with before for a few different reasons. But one of them was I was tired of hearing their budget doesn't work with us, or that project's not big enough, so we can't help them. Because I really wanted to be able to, if not offer the solutions, have solutions available so that everyone could have the abilities to, or the tools they need to market their business. Like Dariana said, and it's one of the things we have in common, right, is making sure people learn and have the information they need. I'm in the marketing space, so I hear a lot of shoulds and musts because they get this noise from influencers or the communities they're in. And I love to clear the noise, right? Help people realize that there are ways we can do this. You don't have to do all the shoulds. You don't have to be all the places, to really streamline and help them not only market their business, but grow their business and make new connections, right? To be out there and have time to network and grow their business without feeling like they have 2 full-time jobs. So that's what I do.
Awesome.
Oh, and I also run the Waltham chapter of Women's Business League. Sorry. I'm like, wait, I do other things.
Love that.
Oh, thank you all. Thank you, Deb, for bringing these amazing people together. And obviously, you all have a history here. You've all been doing some things together, and that makes this even more exciting as we hear some more of those things. And you're all involved in collaborations. I mean, I heard that from each one of you, how Deb's story is collaboration from the get-go, from the moment she started working. So, what has been, let's see, how do we want to tackle this one today? You all do this really well. So what's been one of the biggest challenges to you in terms of in terms of collaborating, not just networking, but collaborating? Because you all network, do a lot of networking. Mm-hmm. What have been the challenges in turning those network relationships into actual collaborations? And anybody feel free to respond there.
Well, sometimes I feel like it's a matter of if I could multiply myself and just be several places at once, that would be great. Because it seems to be like a lot of things happen on the same nights. But it really is just sometimes I find that it's time. People live such a busy schedule that sometimes that you really do want to collaborate. The relationship makes sense. You both have something positive to bring to the table, but sometimes it really just turns into, when are we available on the same night? Just because so many, I mean, we all have personal lives, professional lives, kids to run here and there. So sometimes it really is scheduling when collaborating doesn't work. But I find that for the most part, I personally make a collaboration work. There are certain projects, certain people, accounts that you really want to help. So shifting a few meetings around, shifting your schedule around, just to make that, relationship work, I personally think is worth it.
Mhm.
Coming back to the old adage of where there's a will, there's a way.
There sure
We'll make
is.
this happen.
Yes.
Yes, we will.
A big benefit for working for yourself, huh, Dariana?
Oh, sorry, I'm a little spoiled. I just
Ryan, you can come to the dark side.
Just having the ability to change your schedule and help your clients out. It's probably pretty nice having your own business like that and being able to call the shots.
Yeah. And I will say to Ryan's point, that's one of the challenges that I see, right? You do a lot of networking and it's hard to find new communities. And when you're trying to create a collaboration, sometimes the other individual has done so much networking in the referral only space that they don't understand that there's a collaboration that could happen, or there's a connection that could happen with expanding each other's networks. And they're kind of like, well, what referrals are you going to like? How much business is that going to bring me in? It's like,
what am I going to get out of it?
Yeah. It's like, let's just start at the top. Let's start at the top and create community together and really start to network and bring each other into our spaces. And it will snowball from there. But some people are very referral BNI based and they just don't see that.
And see it as a transaction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great point, Nichole, because we've all been at networking events where, you're talking to someone, you can tell they're just waiting for their turn to speak.
Mhm.
I think being a good collaborator and networker just means learning how to be a really good listener. You're listening for what people's pain points are, what's going to help them become successful. But you're exactly right. When you're talking to somebody who's just like, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? It's like, all right, I'll finish this conversation politely and move on to someone else who's interested in growing a relationship out of it. Because people want to do business with who they know and like and trust. So you have to build up that with somebody to get there. And I think Nicole's exactly right on that.
Right. And the conversation has to be more than like, okay, well, what do you do? And who's your client?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, this is what I do. And this is, and it's like, whew, back it up. And so one of the things I've done in my networking group, Aaron, and I've shared with a few other communities and people we know, is a referral one sheet. So not just a speaker one sheet, but a referral one sheet. So you can share it with people in your networking communities so that they know what to hear and the triggers to when they can maybe make a connection or collaboration for you. But I'm a big believer that everything should start with coffee, right? I mean, I'm addicted to iced coffee. It should be cold year round. But realistically, like, you never know. And if you're kind of in ancillary businesses, or even if you're just in the same networking areas, right? Like, why not have a conversation? Why not have coffee?
You just brought up another great point that I just want to not let slip by. It's like, you never know who you're talking to.
Isn't
I
that-
just the other day had a 30-minute Zoom call with a guy who's a waiter at a restaurant in Boston. There's nothing from that that's going to come out for business for me. But I love talking to people in the restaurant industry and letting them know the value they have outside of that world, because they're learning like intangible skills that are going to be so invaluable for any company to have. And I learned that the hard way. I had imposter syndrome for my first couple of years in a corporate environment. It's just, I couldn't agree with that more. You just never know who you're talking to and who they might know and where it might lead to. So I think just being open to conversations with everyone and being genuinely interested in other people goes a long way.
Get to know each other.
Yeah,
it really does. So just to also add to Nichole and Aaron's point, just to throw it out there, Nichole and I met probably 3 or 4 times before I realized she was in marketing. I don't know why in my head she worked for the Better Business Bureau. And when she said something about marketing, I'm like, wait, what do you do?
Probably because I'm always like pulling Danielle and Paula around with me. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't know so-and-so. You should chat with them. You should chat with them.
You're a good connector.
I am a member of the BBB.
You really were. In my head, you were. I mentioned it to Deb once, and I said, no, the girl from, Better Business Bureau. And she mentioned another name, and I thought Deb, I was like, okay, never mind.
No, Nichole wants to make you a star.
I do. I want to make you a star.
Everywhere. But sometimes it is just, I find some of these younger entrepreneurs, it really is a learning curve for them where you are taught your job. Sometimes they're even trained in sales. So many of them aren't trained in networking. They're so number focused, they lose the relationship aspect of it, not realizing that I may not have a referral for you today, but if we build a relationship and I introduce you to 5 people that can constantly feed referrals to you, it's so much better than my one referral once a year.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And that's part of why I almost feel like the coaching industry is taking off, right? I have literally met probably 5 coaches in the last 2 weeks, and part of their focus is helping people. Like they literally help people have conversations with people, whether they're people who report to them or people that they're trying to work with in collaboration. Like, because I just think, to Dariana's point, that soft skill is not taught a lot. It's taught that you need to get in, get business cards, get fine. And it's like, no, just chat, just be a human. Like people like to work, like Erin said, know, like, and trust, right? They want to talk to other humans.
Learn how to have a conversation.
Yeah. It's
Do
crazy.
you know what else I find interesting in today's world is that people don't pick up the phone anymore. Like I look at the 4 of them, they answer my phone call all the time. But even trying to build the network and get to know people that have been at a networking event and give a call to follow up, they don't pick up the phone and they don't return a phone call.
Yep.
They'll probably try to text you if they could.
But it's changed, and you hear it sometimes when you're out on the floor and they'll say, so-and-so's not getting back to me. I've sent them 18 emails. It's like, did you pick up a phone? And they're like, what? They look at you like, what do you mean?
Right.
It's a lost art.
Right. That thing on your desk. You should
pick up your phone.
Yeah. It's very interesting how things have changed over the last few years, and truly people do avoid the phone in terms of phone calls. Taking or receiving. Nichole, could you elaborate for just a second on your referral one sheet that you talked about?
Yeah.
What's on that?
Yeah. So in the small business world, or even in the business world as a general, right? A lot of people have a speaker one sheet. So it's the one sheet that they might send out if they want to be speaking at something or guesting on a podcast, etc. So spin off of that, it's a referral one sheet. Right. It's my photo, business name, contact information. And for the people, in the space, what it is 2 or 3 questions or things you might hear people in your network say that should be triggers for you to know that I can be their solution. Or that we should speak, right? That you should connect them with me. And then it, also has my social media information, but then also summarizes my packages and my services and what my entry price points look like, right? I feel like a lot of people when you don't make a purchase decision when you're scared or don't know the money, right? Like, okay, you want that Lexus. Now, when you know that Lexus is $85,000, you know what you're working towards. And it should be the same for business owners. Oh, you want to hire this marketing service? Well, the entry level is $1,750. You know, it hands down. So that, okay, well, maybe I need the one-time investment. And then when I can do a retainer. Or at least, can we talk about what other options there might be? Or this is my budget. Do you have something that can work in it? And it's sales 101, right? Like ask a budget. But in the small, mid-sized business world, I feel like we forget to do that a lot, or we're afraid to do that. Like Erin mentioned imposter syndrome, right? Like, oh my God, they might think that's more than they should be paying me. Yeah. So it has that information right there. And I can send it over to you after the call, Regina.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love to see that.
But it's literally just what I do, who I serve, and then the triggers you would hear, my contact information, and my packages and services.
Yeah. That's awesome.
If you could send that to all of us, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
You may have sent that in the past. I feel like I've heard that before, but that'd be awesome.
Yeah, by all means.
Thank you.
Okay. Deb, Amy is trying to join. Could you send her a message and let her know she needs to connect her camera and her mic before I can admit her? If you have that capability there.
I wasn't
Amy?
sure I had to hit that box before I could be allowed in.
Yeah. So this is great. You know, a lot of people have never heard of that referral one sheet. A lot of us have heard of a speaker one sheet, but I'd venture there's a lot of folks who've not heard of the referral sheet. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So in our WBL chapter, we actually spent a time, one of our meetings are only an hour, right? Where we kind of developed our own. We did the speaker one sheet 1 week, and then the following meeting 2 weeks later, we did the referral one sheet, because it's great to have something, especially if you've just met someone, or in today's virtual world, right? You're having a coffee connect on Zoom. It gets a little more of your personality across, and it gives something electronically that they can share to make that email intro. Or, I think it's very rare that people print nowadays. I mean, my printer's in the closet. I pull it out when I need it. Right? But it's
You
not,
obviously don't live in my office.
it's not electronic option, right? You can drop it in a Zoom chat. You can send it an email. You can, put it on a Facebook Messenger, whatever it might be.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes me think that, creating a collaboration one sheet would be kind of a next step.
Yes.
So, yes. So because referrals and collaborations can be two different things. And who would be the best collaborative partners for me? So when you folks think about collaboration, what's a successful collaboration look like to you? So there's so many different ways that could go, right? But is that them getting you in front of their audience? Is it what is a successful collaboration from your side and theirs? What makes it successful for that partner and successful for you? And love to hear your comments on that, Ryan.
I think a successful collaboration is when the five of us, excluding you, Regina, sorry, but the five of us, the people that Deb invited on this call, if we could all collaborate and somehow work with the same client, make them happy, in each industry we service.
Yes.
And knowing that we can introduce each other for, whatever it is that we do, knowing that we're going to provide great service and anyone we introduce will provide great service. I think that making people happy and doing a good job with your team, with your network is a very successful collaboration.
Yeah. I love that. I have one of my mastermind groups is called Business Superheroes. Was something else before, and we decided that was a copyrighted name, and so we went with Business Superheroes. Anyway, one of the goals of that mastermind is that we do find those clients that everyone in the mastermind can serve. That everyone has different skill sets within that mastermind and different services, and finding those clients that as many of us as possible could be involved in a package for that client and serve that client. So I like that.
Like Ryan saying with the introducing each other, right? I mean, Ryan and I have networked together on and off over the past 2 or 3 years.
Right.
And my clients are not in a space where they're ready for payroll services, but I'm constantly able to intro Ryan, right? Introduce him to other people, or to say to people in my sphere who might not even be clients, if you're getting there, if you're onboarding employees and need payroll service, let me know, because I've got a guy. Like I have a person for you.
Nichole, thank you for the plugs, but we're not always going to have a referral for the people we work with, but that's why we get together, we talk, we listen, and the more you get to know each other, the more opportunities, you can uncover.
I mean, you want people who are going to talk about you in rooms you're not in, right? That's really the whole point of networking, is that you want enough of a community and enough of a reputation with the know, like, and trust that Aaron was mentioning, that even if you're not there, if somebody's mentioning something, again, they're doing one of your trigger questions of your referral, right? You'd be like, I know somebody here. Yeah. Let's connect on LinkedIn, and I'll send you a link. I'll connect you guys on LinkedIn, or I'll connect you guys on email. Like you need, and plus it's the spider web, right? They're going to bring me to new communities. You're going to be like, hey, I know that you might enjoy this. I know you might want to come here. I mean, we do it. I mean, Deb, Dariana, and we're emailing and texting each other regularly. Hey, these are the events I'm going to. What are you going to? Where can we meet up? Like, let's make sure we know as many people as possible. So
That's awesome.
I think
In
that's
addition
a
to
good
all
collaboration.
In addition to what Nichole and Ryan are saying, I think we've done a pretty good job, honestly, between this group, just helping expand each other's networks. Sometimes for me, expanding my network is always something that I'm trying to do, but sometimes it's really just kind of getting out of my own way, looking at a process for days and days and days. And because you're staring at it for so long, you just can't see anything different. Sometimes it is just a successful collaboration for me is talking it out loud with one of my referral partners, whether it's, Ryan, Nichole, Deb, Aaron, and just getting someone completely out of the situation to look at it from a completely different perspective and helping me make something more efficient, helping me just kind of clear my own head in the sense of making something smoother, making it so it's not so clunky, not so difficult, because where insurance may be rather easy for me in my own head, when I talk about insurance, you either see people's wheels spinning or I've completely lost them. So it's nice to talk to, people outside of the industry and kind of look at their face and see the absolute confusion and say, okay, this doesn't make sense. So sometimes collaborating for me isn't always meeting someone new. Sometimes it is bouncing an idea, creating a networking event together. I guess really what my goal is for that month could be a good collaboration. And sometimes it is meeting 50 new people. And sometimes it really is just streamlining a process.
Or even co-working, right? Like that to me is a great collaboration. It gets me out of the house. It gets me in a new environment. And to Dariana's point, right? I can share something like copy at the moment or an idea with somebody in the room.
And go back to what Dariana said a while ago, as far as like, sometimes you have to collaborate and go out with them a few times to actually know what they're doing. You didn't know what Nichole did for the first 4 times you went out with her. Like, sometimes it takes that full conversation to be like, oh my gosh, I have the perfect person to refer you over to. It's the truth, right?
It is. It's the truth. There was so much else to talk about.
But you're building relationships.
I have a good conversation. If you didn't figure out what each other did until you're third, I think that's great networking right there. You build a relationship.
Yeah.
And it just shows that, what we do professionally is sort of secondary to just a personal connection and relationship.
Yeah. Build the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I even think the first time I met Aaron, I was like, oh, don't you work at ServPro? He's like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
You're thinking of Aaron Roy.
Maybe.
Who works at ServPro and has similar hair.
I actually know Aaron Roy. I just met him at a networking event recently.
I was talking to Aaron Roy 2 hours ago.
Funny.
Oh my goodness. You guys are fun.
We like to have fun. That's why Deb put us all together. I think
I'm sure she knew what she was doing, right?
Yeah.
Deb?
We did.
Absolutely. This is the right group right here.
Yeah, this is the right group. I love that you've all been collaborating and networking for so long together. I don't get many groups on here that are that way, that everybody's been together for a while and really knows each other and has those deep relationships and really serving one another and your clients. That's phenomenal. Kudos to you guys. Congratulations. That's awesome. So I have a question. In terms of your collaborations, or in terms, not yours, but anybody's collaboration, we've talked about, it's about building the relationship. And it's not that instant thing, right? It's not what we do at networking events, right? That's not the collaboration. That's the meeting. That's the starting to get to know them. What's the longest you've maybe known someone, had been building that relationship before a collaborative opportunity arose?
That's a great question.
So I'll just jump in. In construction, everything's a long sales cycle. So I have probably 100 relationships that I could designate as that. We haven't had a chance to collaborate yet, but we will eventually, and we just keep staying in touch with each other because there's only so many projects that could be done, and there's usually just one design partner you can be with on each project. So I'd say a majority of my network is people I haven't had the chance yet to
Or you haven't-
collaborate with professionally, but maybe collaborating networking wise, we've been able to do that.
Right. So, Aaron, how have you stayed in touch with them? What's your process for making sure that they don't drop out of sight for you?
It's a good question. From different companies I've been at, the process sometimes changes depending on what they have for a CRM. But to keep it really simple, I just keep track either in a spreadsheet or a CRM when I'm reaching out to people, because my network has gotten to the hundreds of people.
Right.
So I keep a sheet. If I reach out to somebody, I write it down. I put it in my CRM, and then a reminder, hey, follow up in a few months. So that way nobody falls through the cracks.
Good.
I think as our networks get bigger, it's important to have a system in place, because otherwise you will have people slip through the cracks. I've had it done early in my career for sure.
Right.
I've learned that lesson.
Yeah.
Haven't we all?
I have friends who use Airtable, right? So you can, just similar to using an Excel file, where you can sort it, you can get reminders, you can put things in your to-do list.
Cool.
And then you can make notes, right? How you met them and what they're doing. And,
Yeah.
other than I was at an event this morning and I probably wrote on the back of all 6 business cards that I collected.
And then you go take those back and put them into
Take them
your
back, put them in,
system.
make sure I make connections with them on LinkedIn, connect with them on email, and then follow up with whatever we were talking about, right? It's usually oh, you should join me at this networking thing, or you should meet this person, or I should connect you with so-and-so.
Yeah.
And
That's important.
Staples does this amazing black book. I don't know if you guys ever seen it, just for your business cards. So I have 6 of those filled, and I'll circulate those a lot because I'm like Nichole, I'll write on the back of them and write notes. So I'm constantly going back into that and following back up with people just to make sure I keep them fresh in my mind.
Or scan them digitally if you don't want to have a paper file. But I think that's one of the things that a lot of people, including myself at times, struggle with as a business owner. We go to all of these events, we collect tens and tens of business cards. By the time we get home, we have a pocket full of cards and we have no idea who's who. But where we drop the ball is that we don't follow up with these people. So you went to this event, you collected all these cards, and then you did nothing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's important to follow up with people.
And then we keep them for years, right?
We keep them for years. I mean, I'll admit, for a while, I had a shoebox full of.
I was just going to say, I just started my second shoebox full of business cards, Dariana. That's great.
I had an intern over the summer just enter everything into a system, because it really was, I moved recently and I opened this box. I'm like, what is this? And I was looking through those oh, so I should do something with this.
Well, do any of you use an electronic business card instead of a paper business card?
I have one.
Yes.
I never thought I'd have one, but someone that is in one of my networking groups, did a presentation on digital business cards. So I never thought I'd have one, but to support someone I network with, I had him create one for me.
Right.
And, who knows, maybe some others on my sales team will follow, the lead and have him make something for them. But I just had one made recently. It's pretty
One
cool.
of the, oh,
They're
go ahead.
helpful.
Yeah.
They're definitely helpful. I'm finding that I'm finding more of a younger crowd is using them. But I have a dot, literally spelled D-O-T. And there's a QR code, or it looks like a debit card. I just put it at the corner of someone's phone and my entire profile goes in and they get anything I put in there. So for me, I have a photo of myself, the name of my business, phone number. I include my cell phone on there as well. I include my social media as well as the business address. So I give them everything they could possibly need to contact me. And I think the picture is important because after you meet so many people, everyone just turns into a blur at some point.
Exactly.
I think that the digital cards, I do still have paper cards, but I think digital cards are incredibly useful. And I don't know if Androids have this, but I know for an iPhone, you have your own profile where you can just share it with someone. So you can just share your entire contact. That one I will give a warning because I am not tech savvy at all. I had put a couple of passwords in mine, not realizing I was sharing everything with people.
My only thing with the digital business cards, they're great, and I think they're a great backup. But I find that contacts sometimes lose your information, right? Because if you're going right into their contacts, they don't necessarily remember who they've met with. But I do enjoy using the QR code that LinkedIn will make automatically for you to connect with people. So in addition to paper cards, right, then I'm connecting with them on LinkedIn, and then I have that notification reminder.
Nice too. That's
right?
nice too.
A little trail, which I think, and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think some of the digital business cards do track. They give you an app where you can track to see who you've given your information to.
You absolutely can. I have that feature going on, and I never thought I'd use a digital business card. I'm old school. I love business cards. I just had 1,000 of them sent to my house. But
I love them too.
my digital business card, gives you the opportunity to add you on LinkedIn right from,
That's nice.
the landing page it brings you to.
And then you can also get some like Linktree and others that I can't think of the names of. You can put your products, reports. You could put the referral one sheet, the speaker one sheet, the collaboration one sheet that we're going to come up with here.
I mean, from a marketing standpoint, I would say do a separate page on your website, even if it's hidden. Then you get the SEO that you don't get with a Linktree. But yeah, we'll talk about Linktree, Regina.
Okay, we'll talk, Nichole. Oh, guys, speaking of we'll talk, we could go on and on, but we are at almost the top of the hour here. So this has been fun, guys. What a great group of folks you brought together here, Deb. Thank you so much for bringing everyone on. So what I'd like to do now is our wrap up round, and I'd like to have you lead that, Deb, and just start with yourself, but have everyone tell their final thoughts about collaboration and how folks can get in touch with you, your contact info.
Absolutely. So as we've all agreed, collaboration is definitely about building relationships, and just continue to build those. That might take a day, a minute, a month, a year. Just keep constantly reaching out and trying to build your network and invite more people into your network. I love to call us a little pod where we are always sharing ideas of where we're going for our networking events and what is cooking in the area. So definitely build those pods and just keep expanding your networks. So again, I'm Deb Honor, Director of Strategic Accounts with BANKW Staffing, not to be confused with a bank. We staff in everything from accounting, finance, administration, HR, legal, sales, and IT. And my email address is dhonor@bankwstaffing.com.
Awesome. And if you'll pop that into the private chat, I can pop it into the public conversation here, the comments too. So
Awesome. Thanks so much.
awesome. Yeah. All right. So who's next, Deb?
Let's go in the same order. Lauren, take it away.
All right. Well, again, thanks for having me. This has been a lot of fun. I just truly believe in the power of networking and collaboration, and it's awesome to just be in the group with a bunch of other people who also see the power to that. I say all the time, but our network is our net worth. Mm-hmm. And I always look at, even if folks aren't in the same industry as me, they're another arrow in my quiver that I can use for clients where I might hear they need a different service that I might not be familiar with. But thanks again for having me again. My name is Aaron Bishop. I'm the Director of Business Development for CMC Construction and Consulting. We do all different types of commercial construction projects, from life science, healthcare, corporate, commercial, industrial. You can find me on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Bishop Aaron. And my email is abishop@cmcconstructs.com.
Awesome. Ryan.
Okay, so again, thank you, Deb, for inviting me. Regina, thank you for being the host. This is a great opportunity for us to collaborate a little bit more. And actually, I've learned a little bit about you folks that I didn't know about, before today. So, this is a helpful session. I love to collaborate, love to introduce people in my network to people that will eventually become a client and appreciate that good service. So if you want to know more about that, shoot me an email. It's R Benedetto. So my name is Ryan Benedetto, and I work for ConnectPay. So the email address is rbenedetto@connectpayusa.com. RBENEDETTO@connectpayusa.com. And I will now pass it to Dariana.
Awesome.
Thank you again, Regina and Deb, for having me today, and Nichole, Ryan, and Aaron. You guys are awesome. So I would do this any day of the week. Excellent crowd here. So for me, just to wrap it up, it's collaborating really is everything, especially when you're a solopreneur or you're a small business owner. It's unlikely you can do everything by yourself. You're one person. It really takes one, networking village, if you will, to make any company or business successful. So I think that's the way of having help without having to hire help if you're not ready. But when you are, go to Deb. But it really is. So for me, collaborating, networking, it really is key to my business thriving. And if you want to learn more about me and my business, I can be reached at Dariana at middlesexins.com. So that's DARIANA at MIDDLESEXINS.com. Thank you.
Awesome. So I'll wrap it up. I am Nichole. I own Stargazer Creative. We are a marketing agency that helps people navigate the digital marketing world. So if you hate hitting post or publish, I will help you with a cohesive, holistic marketing strategy and a content plan, and either implement it for you or give you the task list so you can implement it on your own. And that includes vendor management, because like Dariana was saying, there are a lot of small, mid-sized businesses. You have to do it all. So if you have VAs and other resources and you're finding they're not all under the same page, I can do that for you and hone them in. But my last thoughts on collaboration really are that community is key. Like Dariana was saying, small, mid-sized businesses, right? I mean, you never know who knows who. 6 degrees of separation is real, not just a movie. Dating myself, but it snowballs. It's amazing when you meet people, the snowballs happen, and the amount of people that you realize know each other through other networks and then can introduce you to new people. But you can reach me or find me on IG at Stargazer Creative MA, or my email is Nichole with an H because my mother couldn't spell it, at stargazercreative.com.
Love it.
That's awesome. Oh, thank you all. And I'm Regina Partain-Bergman, your host for this, and I help ambitious CEOs and entrepreneurs, business owners, to exponentially accelerate their profit and make sure that their business can run without them, so they have more freedom and time in their lives while still doing the work in the world that they want to do. So thanks again for joining us, Deb. Thanks for bringing this amazing group together. And I look forward to collaborating with each of you.
Mm-hmm.
So
thanks so much, Regina.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Yeah. So thanks again. We'll see you next time on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.